Accendii, light up your brand.
Hello everyone! Welcome to Accendii channel. My name is Yulia, in case you haven't watched our channel yet. I'm extremely happy to introduce to you Jagz Kaur, a super talented branding and design professional. She is very passionate about achieving excellence and has over 19 years of experience in the industry, starting from her BA degree from London Guildhall University, followed by her Master of Arts degree in Design and Branding Strategy at Brunel University. Jagz has worked with high brands as well as famous people, helping them deliver the best impressions. So, today we will definitely touch upon the topic of design, discuss ideas, and Jagz will share her fascinating career story. Hi Jagz, thank you for coming.
Hi, Yulia. Thank you so much for having me.
So, could you tell us, please, what was the biggest challenge in your career?
My biggest challenge, I would say, was when I started out. So, when I left university, I basically had to try and look for work. But regardless of me having qualifications, no one in the industry takes you on without any experience. But they're not open to giving you opportunities for experience either. So it can be quite difficult. You have to be quite lucky to get an opportunity. I was quite, I was very fortunate because my uncle had a print business. And so I asked him for some experience in the industry and started from there really. So I worked with him for 6 years and then I went on and grew another business with my father and did that for 11 years after that. So yeah, that all happened in my journey to then following on with my own company.
And you're still working
to where
with
I am now, yeah.
You're still working with your father, yeah?
No, I'm now on my own. Yeah,
Ah.
I'm solo. Yeah, so I do my own thing. I'm a design and branding consultant, completely independent. So yeah.
Wonderful. Jagz, has your education helped you in your job?
Yes, definitely. It's something that I believe has set me in really good stead against other people in the industry because I don't only have a degree, I have a master's in design and branding strategy as well. So that just gives people more confidence in working with me and the level of knowledge that I have when I'm working with their business.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite project that you accomplished?
I've actually had quite a few, to be honest. My career is long, so now I'm at 19 years in the industry. So I think over the years, my favourite ones are the ones that I did for myself. So I have two other brands. One is called the Wisdom Angels that was designed in honour of my late mum. And then another one is to do with my healing background. So I think those are more personal to me. And then every other client's job is different. So they each have their own kind of excitement for me, really. So favourites, I wouldn't really say anyone specific because I won't name drop. But yeah, I think it's more probably the ones for me that were more personal.
Maybe could you share with us about the story of your two favorite projects which you mentioned just now?
Sure. So the Wisdom Angels that I mentioned is actually, like I said, I designed it in honour of my mum. So I lost my mum when I was quite young. And it was more a brand that I wanted to show people that you can still be positive despite hardships in life. And that's always been, I would say, my background to everything that I do. You should never give up on creating a dream, regardless of how hard it might seem. So I do that both in my design career and also on personal projects that I do too.
And another you mentioned?
My healing. So I'm also a Reiki healer. and
Oh.
a natural born psychic. So those are some of the things that I do in my personal time. I do like to help people just make sure that they clear any blockages they have in life for achieving some of the big things that they want to, goals that they want to achieve. I think sometimes we can just take on burdens that we don't need to and hold on to them. But having gone through it all myself, I understand how important it is to make sure that you release all of that so that you just continue to move forward and do the best you can for yourself in life.
So, if anyone of our future audience will want to come to you not only for the design of their personal branding or some logo design, but if anyone in the future will want to come to you to get your advice, like Reiki expert, yeah, we call it like this. Is
I'm
it
always
possible?
I'm always open. Like I said, I love helping people. It doesn't matter in whatever area I can help them. I'm always happy to help. It's just I make everything quite personal, even if it's with professional business people. I always treat everything that I do with them both professionally, but I treat them as an individual. So if they have other kind of concerns or areas I can help them with, yeah, I'm more than happy to help. Always happy.
Guys, I didn't mention Jagz actually created a logo design for Accendii. So now you know who is this wonderful, talented designer. Jagz, did your personal brand help you gain new clients?
Yes, definitely. I think the way I look at the industry or even just a business, people buy from people. And I think if people don't understand who you are, what you're about, your values, they're not as inclined to, one, buy from you in the first place, and two, stick with you. So I think the fact that I'm, I sell design and branding experience and support under my own name. I put my own name and face to it. That just builds trust, and that just helps people kind of either come to me in the first place and also then just like stay with me long term. So yeah, definitely helped for sure.
It's very important to build a trustworthy relationship with your clients. It's a long-term relationship, like in life, like with a partner. You do the same with the clients.
Very much, yeah.
Who inspires you the most?
I don't actually have one individual that inspires me the most, to be fair. I think the core of me, I'm inspired by my mum in her short life. But then I think now here in business, all of my clients actually inspire me. I think the fact that seeing the transition between how they were when they first came to me and then how they become once they've worked with me or they move forward, that's always my inspiration to just keep moving forward and doing bigger and better things, to be fair. So yeah, I don't think I have any one specific person who inspires me though. I take inspiration every day from things that surround me. So yeah.
I think it's the biggest pleasure when you see how your clients are growing in their business and how the brand is getting bigger, and they
Definitely.
attract more clients. And yes, in this case, it's like a baby. You create something from the scratch just by using your imagination, like a designer, right?
That's
and
right.
After it's just flying.
Yeah, that's right. It's just seeing the reaction of people when they come, they go. Some of them come to me with nothing, just a vision, and then they go away with a completely different person, and that's what inspires me to do what I do.
Recently, I have heard some interview by some channel, and one person said that it's a big mistake that people go to a designer to ask to create a logo, because it's about you, about your personality. But at the same time, if you don't have enough creativity, enough imagination, what you want, I think it's always better to ask the expert in certain field.
definitely. I agree. I think there are a lot of people who nowadays do try and do things themselves. I am one who's very much against that, not just because of what I do, but I think people don't realize if they don't do it correctly from the beginning, they could, if they don't get what the message that they're trying to portray across correctly, they could damage their brand later on. So getting a professional to help and it's because the way I look at it, it's an investment. It's not just an expense. So the more time, effort, and expertise you put into it at the beginning, the more likely you are to move further quicker with whatever brand you're trying to create. So I'm always one of the people you'll find who says, please don't do it yourself. Please get a professional to do it. Yeah, for sure.
Some of my friends in the beginning, when just a couple of years ago I started Accendii, working on Accendii project, he said, Yulia, don't pay attention too much to a logo design. You can always change it. But I believe that it's better to start from the beginning to make it properly, because it's like, as I said earlier, it's like kind of engagement. Like it will be with you all your life if it's a great logo, and it's a philosophy.
Basically your logo is the first statement that your company makes. It's not the be all and end all of what you're trying to do, but it's definitely a big part. So I think when I design, I always say, much like you're aware when I've worked with you, that a logo should stay with you for, it should be designed with the first 5 years in mind. You shouldn't be changing it, because also when you change, you lose trust with your clients. People wonder, well, why did you change? What happened? Why was it wrong in the first place? You lose a lot of loyalty and a lot of trust. So to take the time and the effort, and that's why I said using a professional is really important at the beginning. So yeah, you create that credibility right from the beginning, and then you don't lose the loyalty of the clients that you want to gain.
100%. Jagz, would you recommend anyone to create a logo for their personal brand?
Yes. Again, it comes down to identity. People need to recognize you for something. People who have personal brands, a lot of people now use their signature or something quite scripty, but whatever you use, it should be used as a statement, more for consistency, because if you don't have something that people can relate to, then why should they trust you? Who are you? And also, what do you do? So you spend a lot more time trying to sell what you do, rather than them see something and understand that that's exactly what you do. And that's the whole point of having a logo, regardless of what type of service or product you're trying to sell.
Is there any trend now in logo design?
I think from my understanding, I see that a lot of things are kept very simple, nothing too fussy, very clean. It doesn't matter whether you're trying to be quite modern or quite traditional. They're just all very, very clean, because I think most companies now are trying to sell a lot of what they do through their marketing, rather than just through, what their brand actually looks like. Yeah.
Did you always want success and fame?
Success, yes, definitely. I think anyone who starts up a business, if you don't want success, then it makes you question what you're doing, but or what you're doing it for. But yeah, definitely success. Fame, I never really thought about it, to be honest. Yes, I love the fact that people recognize who I am, what I do, and understand my brand for what it is. But the fact that I am a lot more recognized than I half expected, I think it's a blessing, to be honest.
Okay, nice. And what is the key to becoming one of those people everyone talks about?
I would say just be yourself. I think there are some people who try and be something that they're not, and that's one of the worst mistakes they could make, because that just that will come out eventually. But I think if you're your authentic self and you just show the passion for what you do and you believe in yourself and what you do, naturally people just resonate towards you and believe in you, want to work with you, want to be around you. So that's probably what I would say to that.
Absolutely agree with you.
Yeah.
And what is the interrelationship between marketing and branding?
So when you brand your company, it's actually the style that you create that people recognize and can relate to. It's the consistency of your company. The marketing is how you sell what you're trying to sell, but you use the branding in whatever marketing you're trying to push. So marketing can be in the form of video, it can be in the form of printed material, it can be adverts, but they should all be consistent based on your branding. So they kind of work together in harmony, but you have to get your branding correct first in order for the marketing to be successful, because you're trying to market the vision of your actual brand. So I hope that makes sense.
Absolutely. Jagz, can good design guarantee you success?
I don't think anything can guarantee success, to be fair, and that's from my knowledge even of working in a business. But I think good design definitely helps the journey of success. But as long as the message that you're trying to portray is correct, because something can look really pretty, but it may not be actually selling your product correctly. It doesn't mean that just if something looks great that it's sending the right message. So it's about finding the balance between what you're marketing, what your message is, and whether it actually looks professional as well. So you have to think about lots of different aspects.
That's why a lot of companies fail in the beginning, because brand by itself sends one message. Marketing strategy works on absolutely another direction, and customers, in the end of the day, they don't understand what is it about, the whole concept of the company, right?
That's correct. So there are people who, because in bigger companies, there are different teams to do different things. So sometimes there's a gap in between one talking to the other correctly. You can have creatives in a room and they can be really creative, and they kind of come out with loads of different ideas, but then they didn't quite listen to what the message of the brand is. And there's a slight gap that can create such a catastrophic outcome, and that's why it can actually fail. But also smaller companies do the same. They obviously don't have teams, but this is what happens when you don't use a professional that actually knows what they're doing beginning to end. If you start with one, let's say setting up your brand, and then you use another one, you say, okay, well, I want to use somebody cheaper or someone different, and then they go and use somebody else for marketing. That's where the lines can become a bit blurry, and then they can actually get it quite wrong. So yeah, it's something to be quite mindful of.
It's always about the team, right people who understand each other.
Definitely.
Jagz, what are your plans regarding your future career and business?
My plan is just to grow what I've already got. I would love to grow a team and gain more exposure internationally, I believe. So yeah, I think I do live a little bit a day at a time, but I also have quite big visions. I just have to see where we go, to be fair, because life can be unexpected. Look at what happened with COVID. I think you have to just be grateful for where you are at the moment.
Jagz, can you give us one of your tips how to have a productive day?
One of my tips is always to get good sleep, and then also be organized, because if you don't have enough sleep and you're not organized ahead of your day, you can start in a really bad direction, and then your day just goes from bad to worse. So I think as a professional, those are the two things that I make sure that, your mind is focused, it switches off when it needs to switch off, and then you move forward with a day that kind of achieves what you want it to achieve, rather than you just go with the flow and then realize that it's 6 o'clock and you've achieved nothing.
Do you prefer to make a plan from the evening for upcoming day, or it's always like in the morning you come to your office and start to make a plan?
My I normally plan actually, a week, 2 weeks in advance, so it's not on a daily basis, but more every evening. I'm kind of looking ahead at what's going to happen tomorrow. So that, but then again, you look at your plan, because clients can come along and change your day anyway. But definitely, it's just, if you have no plan at all, then where are you going to start and where are you going to end? So I think that's really important in business. Doesn't matter what you do, always make a plan, whether that's for yourself, for your day, for the work that your clients are going to give you, the phone calls you're going to make, things like that. Just make sure that it's all structured, so if you go off tangent a little bit, where you have to come back and pick up from. So yeah,
here the same. I always make a plan from the evening, but you never know how the day will go.
That's right.
Jagz, can you give any advice to anyone who wants to start their career in the design?
I would say definitely take some time to learn how to do it correctly. There are lots of people who now try design because they have a little bit of software, or there are free applications to try things on, but just because you use those, it doesn't actually qualify you as a designer. I definitely believe if it's a career you wish to pursue for yourself in order to sell to other people, definitely get professional, not even qualifications, but definitely learn it in the right way first, so you understand it before you actually start practicing it for other people. So whether it be you do test projects for yourself, you get feedback from it, even just trial it on friends and family, little projects that they may have. But definitely don't download any type of software, or buy any software and then try and be a designer and think that you can sell it to other people, because eventually your reputation won't be the type of reputation that you would wish it to be.
Word of mouth works in this case.
Yes, definitely. It can go really, really well, or it can also go, quite horribly wrong. So you have to just be very careful, because reputation always follows you wherever you go, good or bad.
Jagz, I know that you launched your online course in March. How did it go? And what is it about?
Yes, it went really well, thank you. I realised that there was a gap in the market where there wasn't enough information or help for people who have their own companies, who were trying to design certain things themselves and didn't really have the right guidance as to how to do it correctly. So my course is actually called It's More Than Just a Logo, and it helps business people, even people who haven't started yet, to understand how important branding is as a whole. Because I think there is a lot of this thought process where people believe that if I have a logo, that means I have a brand, and that's not correct. There's so many other things to do with a company. If you look at the massive corporate companies, there are so many different things that go on behind the scenes that create the brand style, that create the brand journey, that a lot of smaller companies don't understand, and they miss out. And that can also be at a detriment to their own reputation, and can do a lot of brand damage that they don't realise. And then when they do realise, it's a little bit too late. So that's what my course is about. It was very successful. It's been received really well. I've had new people join it. I've even had my own clients use it. So it's been quite fun actually, and a nice way to show people the right way to do things. Yeah, definitely.
So guys, please follow Jagz in LinkedIn and sign up for her online course. I believe that it's one of the best courses, in marketing, because you share all the secrets and tips which you got during all your almost 20 years career.
That's right. Yeah.
Experience.
So I try and tell people the things what not to do, because those are the things that very few people will give advice on. They'll happily watch you make mistakes, because the more mistakes you make, the more money they make from you. But I just believe if you have a successful brand and you're doing it correctly, then eventually, you'll see let's say the value of investing in a professional to help you. So yeah, definitely.
Great. Jagz, what's the most important in the design, the meaning or the aesthetics?
I would say both. They go hand in hand. I don't think one is more important than the other. If you don't have meaning behind what you're doing, then what are you actually trying to design aesthetics for? And that's what I try and show people, or try and get people to understand when they come to me as a client, is it's not all just visual. It's very much what's the underpinning meaning of your brand. And if you don't understand as a company, then how can you sell it? I can't make, again, I think I said it earlier, you can't glorify something and make it really visual if there's no meaning to it. It really just, it works hand in hand. Definitely.
Absolutely agree with you. Jagz, what really helped you to become a stronger entrepreneur and woman?
I would say life experience. I think when you're younger, sometimes, it depends on character as well. But when I was younger, I wasn't as confident about taking risks. I think I mentioned earlier that you don't always believe in yourself maybe as much as you would like to. And that comes with, again, years of experience or timing or what's going on with you in life. But I think the biggest thing for me is definitely to believe in yourself. Even if you haven't quite achieved anything yet, you have to still believe that you can. Everyone has the ability to achieve what they want to. They just have to start with self-belief and move on from there. But that's definitely something I tell not just my clients, but friends, family. It all comes from that. So I think now I'm very different to how I was 20 years ago.
I bet, yes. And I always give the same advice. Don't listen other people, especially your family members and colleagues. Members of your family, they always try to protect you from something when you are growing in your career, or when you try to achieve something new. They just they have a lot of their own fears. And colleagues, obviously they don't want you to become more successful than they are. Yes.
Yeah.
So just keep going. Yes.
Yeah.
And
just don't give up. I think it doesn't matter how long it takes. If you really believe you want to do something and it's something really good that you want to do, then don't give up, because normally it's at the point, a little while before you give up that actually your big break might happen. So you just keep doing, you just keep persevering, and you put enough time and effort into it, eventually it'll pay off, definitely.
Well, Jagz, thank you very much for coming today. It was a wonderful interview, and for sure there are so many people who will follow your advice, and I wish you a big success in your career, and see you soon.
Yeah, thank you so much, Yulia, for having me. It's been an absolute pleasure. I wish you all the best with your business as well.
Thank you.
And I'm always here to support you. I think you already know that. But yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you.
Accendii, light up your brand.